Welcome to this explainer. Okay, have you ever wondered why chamomile has been treasured since ancient times? I mean, it's an absolute powerhouse of health. It's been used for thousands of years, dating all the way back to Egyptian agriculture to calm our minds, soothe our stomachs, and literally heal our bodies. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. All that incredible natural medicine is highly fragile. If we don't dry and store this ancient flower correctly, we lose the exact magic we are trying to preserve.
Think about that for a second. Did you know that improper drying literally destroys chamomile's most potent essential oils? We're talking about really complex compounds here, things like chemazoulin and bisabolol. These are the exact medicinal and aromatic properties that make chamomile so incredibly valuable for reducing inflammation and promoting sleep. So the stakes are actually quite high. If we don't dry it right, we just end up with tasteless, useless weeds instead of this potent natural pharmacy.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap. First, an introduction to chamomile. Then, harvesting the flowers. Next, drying methods, followed by proper storage. And finally, common mistakes and solutions.
Section 1. Introduction to chamomile.
So let's look at the two main champions of the garden, German chamomile and Roman chamomile. Fun fact for you, chamomile literally translates to earth apple in ancient Greek. And that perfectly explains German chamomile's sweet, apple-like flavor and its higher levels of chemazoulin. Roman chamomile, on the other hand, is a low-growing perennial with a much more bitter, herbaceous taste, which actually makes it better suited for topical applications. But for making that delicious, soothing tea, German chamomile is absolutely the star of the show. Now, why does all of this matter? Well, because we are trying to protect some seriously incredible health benefits. This little daisy-like flower promotes deep sleep and relaxation. It boasts robust anti-inflammatory properties, soothes stomach ailments, and, amazingly, can even relieve hay fever symptoms. Its rich history in Egyptian agriculture definitely wasn't an accident. They recognized early on that this tiny flower was a natural healer. We are essentially on a mission to protect those therapeutic oils.
Moving on to Section 2. Harvesting the flowers. Harvesting is kind of like a precise art, but with these actionable steps, anyone can master it. Step 1. Wait for the morning dew to dry. You want the flowers totally dry to prevent mold, but, and this is key, you must harvest before the midday sun beats down and evaporates those precious essential oils. Step 2. Look for fully open blooms. You want the white petals to be reflexed, meaning they're pointing slightly downward away from the yellow center. That visual cue tells you the oils are at their absolute peak. And Step 3. Snip cleanly, right below the flower head. You only want the blossoms, not a whole bunch of bitter stems and leaves.
Now, I have to strongly advise against something a lot of beginners do. Never, ever wash fresh chamomile flowers after harvesting. I know, it's super tempting to rinse off garden dust, but unnecessary moisture or physical stress will totally ruin those delicate, volatile oils. It also severely increases the risk of mold during the drying process. Just gently shake off any tiny insects and you are good to move to the next step.
All right, Section 3, drying methods. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the trade-off between time and quality. For air drying, you'll want to keep them in a warm, dark room at 60 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 to 7 days. It's traditional, it's gentle, but yeah, it's quite slow. Then we have the dehydrator, which honestly gives the best oil retention. You set it low between 95 and 115 degrees, and it takes just 1 to 4 hours. You need the gear, obviously, but it's incredibly consistent. Oven drying around 85 degrees with the door ajar for 1 to 2 hours is highly risky because ovens fluctuate, making it very easy to accidentally burn your harvest. Finally, the microwave on the defrost setting in short 30-second zaps is super fast, but really only suitable for tiny batches. Basically, pick the one that fits your timeline and your equipment.
Regardless of the method you choose, you need to know exactly when to stop. Fully dry is specifically defined as the state where the chamomile petals are crisp and crumbly. The yellow center snaps cleanly in half and absolutely no moisture remains. If it feels even slightly flexible, soft, or spongy, keep drying. Any leftover moisture will completely ruin your hard work.
Section 4. Proper storage.
So once they're dry, how do we keep them fresh? Here are your actionable storage insights. Always use sealed, airtight glass containers. Mason jars work perfectly for this. You must store them in a cool, dark environment. Why? Because light and air are the ultimate enemies of essential oils. Always label your jars with the herb name and the date you dried them. It's so easy to forget. And remember, for maximum medicinal potency, plan to use your dried chamomile within 1 year.
Fast forward 6 months. You open your jar, but how do you know if it's still good? Keep this sensory cue in mind. Premium chamomile releases a sweet, apple-like aroma when gently crushed. If you lightly crush a dried flower between your fingers and get that beautiful, sweet scent, you successfully preserved the volatile oils. If it smells bitter or kind of like dusty hay, unfortunately, the oils have faded.
Finally, Section 5. Common mistakes and solutions. Here is a huge one. Mistake. Drying flowers in direct sunlight. I mean, it seems perfectly natural to let the sun dry them, right? But the solution is to strictly dry them in a shaded, well-ventilated room. And here's why. UV rays actively break down essential oils and fade those beautiful natural colors. Sun drying literally bakes away both the flavor and the medicine. Mistake number 2, overcrowding flowers on your drying trays. The solution here is super simple. Just spread the flowers out in a single layer with plenty of space between them. Poor airflow leads directly to mold, and trust me, if mold strikes, you have to throw out the entire batch of carefully harvested chamomile. You've got to give them room to breathe. And the third common mistake, using high heat in the oven or dehydrator. So, the crucial point is this. Keeping temperatures strictly below 115 degrees Fahrenheit or about 46 degrees Celsius. We want to gently coax the moisture out of the flowers, not cook them. High heat will just volatilize the oils right out of the plant and into the air, completely defeating the purpose.
Before we wrap up today, I want to deliver a clear and very important reminder. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional before using herbs for medical purposes, as individual health conditions may vary. While herbalism and chamomile tea are wonderful, responsible use is absolutely key, especially if you have existing health conditions or take medications.
And that brings us to the end of our explainer. You are now fully equipped to harvest, dry, and preserve this ancient, soothing medicine without losing a single drop of its potency. But you know, chamomile is just the beginning. It really makes you wonder, what other powerful natural pharmacies are secretly growing as weeds right in your own backyard? Thanks for joining me, and happy harvesting.